Hello everyone and welcome back to Conquering the Frontier here on the New Frontier map with Artemus. We are starting here in front of our dairy farm, where we left off last time. We were getting some hay ready for our cows, and our fence got to stay overnight in the barn here. But today we need to deal with the straw. We have quite a bit of straw from the harvest last time. And for that we need to buy a few things. We are going to get a square baler, as the square bales are nice and handy for the straw. Don't want to store the straw loosely, so baling is ideal. We have made a section next to a barn here, which will be storing them, so we can lining up against this wall. And they're going to be easily accessible when we need them. We also need a way of collecting said bales. And for that we are getting an auto-loading bale trailer. Let's just close this up. And that should make the job easier for us. Now we're going to dash to the store in a couple of tractors, as we need to pick up the new baler and bale trailer. I think our fence will be pulling the bale trailer, as it's slightly quicker. And our stair will be on the baler. So the plan is merging two windrows with our Massey and then getting it baled and collected, and that is for all 4 fields. I currently have straw in them. So that is the main job of today, as we head back to pick up our stair so we can take both tractors over to the store. Here we have our new machines, the Artemus Auto Stack bale trailer, and the Krone Big Pack. It's an older baler, but it will work just fine for what we need it for. Yes, very nice equipment. So we are hitching the stair to the baler, taking this back to the farm. Here we are. First up is Creekside. Artemus is just picking up the Massey and Windrower. And this will also be the first field to get re-drilled this year. We are gonna go ahead and get a winter crop in, hopefully. We plan on extending the field into this grass section next to it. And we do need to cut a few trees down there to get that accomplished. Hopefully we can do that today. But we are gonna be windrowing and baling, and I think we'll do 2 fields each. So we'll go halfway and then swap over. We will get it done, and I will check in with you when it's time to switch. And that is us just wrapping up the second field. And this is going quite quick, which is good. So I think it's time to swap on over. I think we're gonna start close to where we started harvest. Maybe around here. So we are gonna take over the windrowing. And Artemus is hopping in a baler. Now we will go together to collect the bales. And probably swap on over as well. Now this is going quite quick. A bit quicker than we expected actually. So I think we'll have time for the field work we had planned later on. But for now, let's get this second half finished up. And I will check in with you then. There we go, and that's the last of the straw baled. So yeah, like I said before, a bit quicker job than we were expecting. So that is good. We have plenty of field work to get to before winter time, but we still have to get all of this collected. I think we're just gonna run these two back to the farm. Now we're both hopping in the fence to do the collecting. We're gonna split it the same way again. So I'm gonna hop in the fence first of all, and Artemus is gonna be in the passenger seat. And I think we'll do exactly the same split. So I'll take Creekside and Veterans Park in the first half, and then Artemus is gonna do the other half of Veterans Park and the long field. Final 8 bales going into our bale stack here. So not a whole lot of bales we got in total. I think it was around 36. Artemus got the bale counter on the baler last. So I think that was the number we ended up with. But next we are gonna be looking to expand Creekside. We have time today. So what we are doing is clearing a few trees. We have the big tree and then a few smaller ones, including the ones we used to brace when we were starting out, picking up logs. So it'll be bittersweet seeing those go. We have to make space for the future. And we are plowing in the section and liming it. Now we are getting the whole field drilled with canola. We're going to be jumping in our stair here. And we need the stump grinder to dislodge the big tree. And we are just using our axes for the other ones. We're going to need our winch as well, so we can winch the trees into processing. So I think we'll quickly get it done, and I will see you then. And with moving our forestry trailer out of the way, it's the final step to get this area cleared of all obstacles, so we can get to plowing. So we'll get these trailer parked, and then it's on to plowing and lambing, and I'll check back before we get to the drilling. we go. Not even finished with this year's harvest, and we are already drilling for next year. So quite a quick turnaround. And with an extended creekside field at that. But it is getting late in the day, so I think we'll leave it here. And I think next time we might have the sorghum ready to harvest, and then we can move on to some more drilling after that. And we do have some plans for merging up Veterans Park into one big field. As you can see, our farmhouse is well on its way to being built. Looks like window frames have gone in. So we'll soon be moving in some furniture and getting some shingles for the roof. And that is all for today. So if you enjoyed today's episode, drop a like down below. Comments if you have any tips, tricks or suggestions. Make sure to check out Artemus' channel, link down in the description. And make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss the next episode of Conquering the Frontier.